To join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program here, you know there's a lot going on, mass shootings in Colorado and various political chicanery and whatnot. But there was one thing in particular that I saw, one thing in particular that I noticed, and I felt like that really encapsulates so much of what we're seeing right now, and that is an article that's posted on CNN. An article that was posted on CNN that really, in so many ways, says it all. And I did not want this weekend to pass without me dealing with this article. From Nicole Chavez. As you can see from the headline, the 4 largest cities in America will be led by black mayors. I want to read the article here so that you can see what Ms. Chavez has to say about this. It says, when Representative Karen Bass is sworn in as Los Angeles' mayor next month, black people will be leading the 4 largest cities in America. As black mayors as black mayors continue to win elections this cycle, we are excited that for the first time, the 4 largest cities.
I'm just seeing loading for 5 more players. I'm seeing domination.
Chicago,
Your squad, we can be 6 people.
Led by African mayor. The African American Mayors Association said on Thursday. Well, there's not a conflict of interest there, huh? Well, they certainly have a vested interest in promoting that, don't they? Don't they? The article goes on to say Bass, a 6-term congresswoman who represents South and West Los Angeles, will be Los Angeles' first female mayor. She will be sworn in on December 12th. New York City Mayor Eric Adams, a retired New York Police Department captain, took his oath earlier this year. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was elected in 2019 and is currently running for re-election. Sarcasm mime. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner has been in office since 2016 and his current term concludes at the end of next year. The 4 of them are members of the Democratic Party. Phyllis Dickerson, CEO of the African American Mayors Association, said black mayors bring a different perspective to public office and can identify not only problems they have experienced, like the need for public housing and food insecurities, but solutions to those issues. She believes having the 4 cities led by black people will have a positive impact locally and nationally.
Explore intel and loot to gain access to new missions. Enemy threat is high, so expect contact.
When you have the top 4 cities at the table with the administration, I think that the conversation is definitely going to land where it needs to be, Dickerson said. Exactly where does it need to land, Miss Dickerson? When you have the top 4 cities at the table with the administration, she's probably talking about Biden. So his 4 lapdog flunkies with him, the conversation's gonna land where it needs to be. The conversation's gonna land where, ma'am? I want you all to understand that was one of these vague sentences thrown out there. Well, the conversation gonna land where it needs to be.
Ultra One, intel's tracking the location of the Los Alamos associate known as Estrada.
Everything these people offer
he has an active
is
bounty
symbolic.
on him. You have executed
It's intangible and it's symbolic. So pick up on that. If you agree with what you're hearing here tonight, give me a thumbs up in the chat room and hit the likes button for me, because I'm dead serious about the necessity of this. Dead serious. The article goes on to say there are 7 black women serving as mayors on the nation's largest 100 cities, according to the Center for American Women in Politics at Rutgers University, which tracks the progress of black and other women of color in elected office. They are Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, Sanctuary City, V. Alexander Lyles in Charlotte, North Carolina, London Breed in San Francisco, free money and reparations to transsexuals, Muriel Bowser in Washington, Sanctuary City, and potential reparations for transsexuals. LaToya Cantrell in New Orleans, if Wick vouchers could be mayor, to Shara Jones in St. Louis. Boy, the folks in St. Louis already know about her. Talk about a profane, empty suit. Elaine O'Neill in Durham, North Carolina. Durham is hood, hood, hood. The whole, no offense, Durham, but you know I'm telling the truth. Hood, hood, hood. Goes on to say, but that number will reach 9 with Bass and Philip Goins Brown,
I'ma come
who was
get
elected mayor of North Las Vegas. North Las Vegas, that's a major city now? North Las Vegas? All right.
I'm
Not
coming.
reaching, we're stretching. There has been a wave of black women running for office in all levels of recent years. Boy, see how this story turned. Did you see how this story took a turn? We went from talking about black mayors to black women. They're back at it again, Miss Chavez. They're back at it again. There's been a wave of black women running for office. 35 black women who filed or indicated that they were running for Congress in the elections. CAWE told CNN a record after 30 in the 2020 election. Was Stacey Abrams among those individuals? Yeah, I think Stacey Abrams. Higher Heights for America, a political action committee that works to elect black progressive women nationwide. Do you see how this article twisted and turned? Boy, they are some demonic bastards, aren't they? See how this article twisted and turned? They started off talking about black mayors, and then turn it into, by the way, we want to pit one group against another. Did you see how she's doing that? CNN, boy, you are some shameless, gutless bastards over there. See how they did that? You see how they did that? You see how they put that turn in there? We started by talking about black people and then turned to say, you know, it's really about women, though. It's really about women. So these black female mayors, they need to really look out for women. And that includes white women. All right, there you go. If you want to know what the twist was gonna be, what the turn was gonna be, what that swerve was gonna be, well, there it is. There's the swerve. There's that swerve. There it is. Higher Heights, a political action committee that works to elect black progressive women nationwide, applauded Bass's win, saying it signaled a win for representation.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. See my little homie never came back, responded with no weapon.
Opportunity, black women have the ability.
I see my little homie never responded with no weapon.
Election. It has nothing to do with her ability or power to lead. That's her ability and power to get elected. That's got nothing to do with leading. Said Glenda Carr, president of the group. Carr said Bass' win was among many wins to be celebrated, but more are needed. A black woman has never been elected as governor, and it's a role that holds incredible power, she said. Quote, if Americans truly want to see advancements in progressive policy and diverse representation in our government, we have to invest in black women running in gubernatorial races. But investing doesn't just mean money. We have to invest our time, energy, and talents if we want to get black women candidates across the finish line. So this is somebody here who is looking for a paycheck, is what they're looking for. There's a whole bunch of individuals out there, and they are political operatives at best, and they are looking for a paycheck. They're just looking for a check. So bring in more money so we can get a check going on over here. Now that I've read for you all the article, by the way, of course, big thanks to everybody who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. So thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. Anthony Richmond and everybody else involved here, thank you very much for that. I got a question for you. Now that I've read the article in its entirety, I have one question for you. What is the condition of black people in these cities that she just named? How are black folk doing in New York? A couple of decades after David Dinkins. Eric Adams is not the first black mayor. A couple of decades after David Dinkins. How are black people in New York City doing? Because I know how the Asian population is doing. I know how the Latino
What missions y'all
population
trying to
is
do?
doing.
I
know how
wanna
the
do this,
Jewish population is doing. I know how the Italian population is doing.
destroy
I know how the Irish
supplies.
population is doing. Hell, I know how the Ukrainian population is doing. But I'm wondering, a couple of decades after David Dinkins hit office, what are black people's condition? How about black people's condition in D.C. under Muriel Bow Wow Wowzer? How are black folk doing in D.C. under Muriel Bowser? No pun intended. How are black people doing in D.C. all this time? Because I know how LGBT is doing in D.C. And I know how illegal aliens are doing in D.C. But
The guy
how are
outside,
black
he in armor.
faring in D.C. now?
Rub some dirt on it.
Since Ms. Chavez wants to hold these up as examples to
Two of them,
brag
man.
out here, how are black people doing?
What are you aiming at me for? I need medical.
Asking the question. How are black people doing in Houston, Texas? How are black people faring in Houston right now? How are we getting along over there off Interstate 45
I got you.
and MLK? How we doing in Houston? There's a bunch of money and industry coming into Houston, but you would figure after all these years that black people would have a mega rich enclave out of Houston. And that's not what's occurring. That isn't what's happening. How are black folk doing in New Orleans, Miss Cantrell? How are black folk doing in St. Louis, Tashara? How they doing in San Francisco, London Breed, where you have helped, aided, and abetted in the gentrification and ethnic cleansing of black people out of San Francisco? How they doing? She's done everything possible for Asians, as East Indians and Orientals. She's done everything possible for LGBT. Ain't no damn thing for black people, so get y'all's ass out of here. Playing no games. Playing no games.
Secure the perimeter.
Hey, how are black people doing in Chicago? How we doing in Bronzeville? How we doing in Bronzeville? How we doing on the south side? How we doing on the west side? By the way, in Chicago, after all these years of the drunk Uncle Lightfoot. By the way, how are black folk doing in Chicago? How's it doing right now? How we doing down there?
Target destroyed. One to go.
Did my prophecy about the Whole Foods being built there?
You want to turn on this
Ultra One, planet charge on the
UAV?
It's been a
supply
minute
site.
since I've been able to make my way back up there. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. But by the way, how are things looking over there around Kennedy King College now that they built that shopping center with the Whole Foods there? I'm just wondering how it's going. I'm sure it has raised the neighborhood, and that's the case. I had seen a story about them closing Whole Foods over there in that area. I had seen a story about that. So you know what that means, right? You know what that means, right? How many of you are of a mind that this is the end of it, and now that you got rid of Whole Foods, everything is okay? How many of you are of that mind? Now, how many of you are of the mind that the 5 times as much money? How many of you want to wager that this was just the first salvo but you're up against
All
a
Ultra charge
relentless,
is hot. Set
never-ending
security and
siege of
confirm
money
detonation.
that is determined that they're going to knock all that area down. The derelict buildings across the street from that Whole Foods, all this got to do. What you're going to understand when I tell you about that area in particular, what you're going to see is you're going to see a plan. That's what Chicago is about today. Chicago is about plan. It's no longer enough to just want to do a shopping center. That ain't gonna get it. Chicago wants to see a multi-block plan now. They want to see you show up not with $2 or $3 million, but $2 or $3 billion. Shopping theaters, luxury condos.
All right, we just gotta hit the safe. There's gonna be a whole bunch of stuff in there.
So just understand, Whole Foods was just the first shot across the bow. Anybody, those of you who live there, you know that whole damn area on the street over there across the street, that's all a bunch of derelict buildings and things.
See that stronghold right
Waiting
there.
for
If y'all
somebody
feel
to come
like
and take
breaking
that.
it, it's gonna be rough, but shit. You need more. You need to put in plates for whatever
By the
we
way,
do. Even if we go.
there's black people's inheritance in the land.
Where's the safe?
Where's their inheritance in the land? How are black folk doing in Chicago? Now that you got that multi-billion-dollar development going up on the north side, by the way, how much of that are black people in Chicago going to be benefiting and enjoying? Must be a lot, because according to Ms. Chavez, this is a big damn deal. Just having a black person elected and all of your problems have been answered. All of your problems have been answered. That's all you have to do at that point right there. You got that together, man. You're done. That's it. When they get done with Lincoln Yards, what we gonna have, y'all? When they get done with Lincoln Yards, how much are black folk gonna benefit from that? How much are black people gonna benefit from that? You tell me. While all these folks are sitting up here telling you that this symbolism somehow adds up to something for you. That all this symbolic gesture, see, this is what they give us. You don't see articles like this about Asians or Latinos. You know why? Because they ain't trying to keep Asians or Latinos out of the street.
Move to extraction.
Folk in the chat room said, Lincoln Yards, where's that? Folks, like I say, some folks are like, wait a minute, what's going on? Look here, Hudson Yards. I was the first person to tell you all about Hudson Yards who didn't live in New York City. I try to keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening with my people around the country, because as the only media apparatus we got, I got to try to stay knowledgeable and educated and informed about these things. So I was talking about Hudson Yards way before anybody outside of New York City was talking about it. Then I went up to New York City so I could go film it while they were building it. I've been on top of it from day one because I understood what this meant. And that other cities would follow it.
Ultra
We
One,
gonna have
you're
to go
now
in
seeing
the same type
different
of
ways. Make
development
sure you got
happening in
grenades and
considered
Miami.
hostile.
Big shout out to the Kit Kat man, Black First, brother. You are correct. It is a war. To hell with symbolism. Cut the damn check, because they cutting checks all over the place.
Ultra One, the hostage is wearing an
Big shout out to you there, brother. We appreciate your support.
Detonates.
Oh, this is easy enough. We already killed her.
Damn right.
Ultra One,
Folks, for those of you who are around the country, y'all don't understand. See, when you got developments like what Joe Montana did with the new San Francisco Stadium, folks, we ain't talking about millions, we're talking about billions of dollars that take up gigantic tracts of land. They can no longer use the freeways as their excuse to move black people. Now they're bringing in billions of dollars of private development. No wonder they want as many immigrants as they can, because in other cases, as I explained before, gentrified, they don't want to move with them. As long as they're bringing a bunch of money to the purposes of this place. Denver, Colorado is a rap. I wouldn't say that Denver, Colorado is a rap. Black people have
the hostage on the verge. Call if you want to explore with them.
Denver is basically the closest organization we never had. legalize marijuana, and that pretty much stands out. So Colorado's done. It's been done for a long time. So, hell, it never really got off the ground, so just forget about it. But you're seeing Hudson Yards set off a new trend.
With the hostage.
So in these major cities now, specifically near waterfronts, you are seeing developments imitating Hudson Yards. And in many of their cases, they're calling themselves yards. So you got Lincoln Yards, you got Miami, what's that? Miami World Center. In Miami right now, they're working on something called Miami World Center. Basically patterned after the New York's World Trade Center, but they're calling it the Miami World Center. So my folks who live in Miami know about that. Brickell was just the beginning. Brickell was not the end, it's just the beginning. Aston Martin residences, that's not the end, it's just the beginning. They're clearing out whole blocks in downtown Miami now. With the mayor's blessing and the city council's help and blessing, they're clearing out whole blocks. Anybody who has been to downtown Miami, let me go ahead and take a brief aside. We're going to come back to the black mayors here in a moment, because I know we're talking about black mayors. Anybody who's been down there to Miami, so when they don't know, when you get off 95,
yeah, where you get that pistol from? I'm gonna help you finish that. Jeez, I'm not even on that mission. But
when you get off 95 there for
where the police station was, where you found that pistol?
Biscayne. When you're getting off on Biscayne, I had to think of the street there for a moment. When you get off on the Biscayne exit, for folks who don't know, living in Miami, it's really, the traffic is real thick on Biscayne and 2nd Street going down through there. But like if you just make the block and come back around, as soon as you get
enemy operators secured a weapons case.
of Biscayne, ain't no traffic over there. So I mean, it's all the traffic and everything is all concentrated in one small area. And like it's a 2-lane street. I mean, a 4-lane street. It's just a 4-lane street, basically taking you back up to the freeway. It's a 4-lane street. It's like for those of you who live in New Orleans, the street that runs in front of the supermarket to the street. So when you get off in Miami, you get off there on Biscayne Bay, right in the middle of Brickell and everything. If you make that block and come back around, there's no traffic once you get west of 2nd Street. Oh, they got plans to change all that. Yeah, because, you know, the businesses are a lot older. You can see the differences. All that new construction is east of Biscayne. All the older construction is west of Biscayne. So, they want to get rid of all the older, the developers are like, hey, we want to get rid of all this old construction, man. We're trying to get rid of all this old construction over here, because essentially it's just a bunch of 2-lane streets when you get west of Biscayne. Not essentially, right when you get past it. My folk in Miami know what I'm doing. Get off the freeway on Biscayne, if you make that block and come back around, there's nothing. Brickell is built up, but everything else is just a bunch of small buildings. There's literally nothing outside of Brickell. They gonna change that. They're gonna change that.
Ultra One, activity has increased in the
That's
area.
getting ready to change. For those of you who haven't been in Miami, though, that's getting ready to change. That's all it is. It's not really built out like that, but that's about to change. That's about to change. They've got plans now to take whole blocks and build that out. Whole blocks. So the developers saw what was done in New York with Hudson Yards, and now they're taking it everywhere. You've got a similar project going up in Plano, Texas now. Oh hell, am I saying too much? I'm gonna scare a bunch of people here. Plano, Texas. One of my old stomping grounds. They got a big multi-billion-dollar development they want to have going on over there. For those of you who are unaware, in Chicago, Lincoln Yards, Miami, everybody's trying to have their own version of Hudson Yards now. We ain't talking about multi-million-dollar development. You're talking about multi-billion-dollar development. So for any of you in San Francisco, San Diego, Houston, Galveston, Austin is bringing in tons of industry now. But at least you're under no illusion.
Somebody's on my ass.
Birmingham, they just finished that big ass mess that was I-20. I think they finally got that finished going through downtown Birmingham. First you get the freeway done, then you start clearing things out. It's like, okay, the rest of y'all got to go. Now that they finally finished redoing 20 through there, I want to say they're done with it now. It looked like it was all done. We can go down this in the chat room. You're correct, Charleston. Y'all saw I went down into Charleston. They're building that multi-billion-dollar Lowe's on the riverfront down there. I got that on video. That's multi-billion-dollar. They're playing no games at all. Hell, was that the little hotel across the street? Had a little hotel across the street. And they
Ultra One, activity is increasing near your location.
The name of
Stay
the
alert.
hotel, as a matter of fact, was the same name as the building and everything. See, I got it on Harbor Inn. Yeah, I got it on my phone. I took pictures of it. Charleston, South Carolina. The Harbor View Inn. And I'm sitting there with the locals like, you know, they're building this gigantic Lowe's right in front of the Harbor View Inn that is going to be this gigantic wall, something like Game of Thrones, like the wall on Game of Thrones. It's going to be blocking the view of the harbor. Can you still call yourself the Harbor View Inn if all the Harbor View Inn gives you is a view of the Lowe's?
Come on, we got to get out of here.
Can you still be the Harbor View Inn if you don't have a view of the harbor? I don't know if they've worked that out yet. I do know that you'll only be able to see a sliver of the harbor from the Harbor View Inn, because now you get an excellent view of the Lowe's building next door. And I can go down
Enemy
the
operators have extracted
list.
a weapons case.
And I'm seeing black folk
Hey,
are all
be
back
careful
up there
up
by
there that,
Mother Emmanuel. Can we
at
just
the
keep
exit,
it all
you know
the way
they're gonna be
live?
on your-
When y'all
on your
come
ass.
back around there where the historic buildings are and all that, where the trading post is, where they used to bring the slaves in and stuff. When you're back over there where all that development is and all those restaurants and stuff back there, man, it's mostly white folk over there. That's practically all white folk over there. Yeah, some black folk walking around, but they have no inheritance in the land. They have no inheritance in the land. I'm not dissing nothing. They have no inheritance on the land. When you go down, what is that, Vindu Range? They got no inheritance in the land down there. The Customs House. I was trying to remember the name. The Custom House. The Custom House. For those of you in Charleston, you know what I'm talking about down there at the harbor. The Custom House. In that area there, they got music playing all loud and everything else because I guess they're trying to have a party atmosphere. They're trying to look like New Orleans, but they got no inheritance in the land. In the chat room, you're correct. Market Street. You're correct. Market Street. All I'm doing is just telling you all the truth about what's going on there. Everybody's got their own version of these things going on. What they're not doing is telling you, hey, let me talk about that for a minute. East Bay Street. I can go down the list here. Everywhere you go, tell me what your black representation and black leadership has done. They're making plenty of opportunities for everybody else. You see, under Marion Barry in D.C., you had the rise of black contractors. Don Peebles was not the only one. Don will tell you this. I remember I've sat down and talked to Don. He will tell you this. He wasn't the only one. Marion Barry opened up opportunities for a number of different people. Today, you have your black so-called mayors and leadership for the purposes of cutting off opportunities from black people. That's the difference. Under Marion Barry, opportunities were open for them. Hell, I'll even give a little bit of credit here. Y'all are gonna fall out. I'll even give a little bit of credit where Andrew Young is concerned in Atlanta. At least when they were working on Hartsfield Jackson and 85 and 285. I'll give a little bit of credit where credit's due. I'll give a little bit. I ain't gonna give a whole lot now, damn it. Not gonna give a whole damn lot. But like I say, at least at the time, the people were insistent
Ultra
that it
One, we're
had to go
seeing
a
increased
certain
activity
way.
in the area. Stay sharp.
At least they were consistent that it had to go a certain way. At the time. At the time. And we made progress.
All Ultra disclosed the contract on a Las Almas smuggler known as Romero.
We made progress, and that was the agenda.
Get to cover!
In the chat room, for my mods, they can RIP Marion Barry. My mods, they can RIP Marion Barry. We shall never see his like again.
Ultra One, be advised, winds are picking up.
We shall
Move
never
to an
see his like
extraction
again.
point.
I got you!
Marion Barry made sure he kept the doors open. Real progress was made. Real progress was made under Marion Barry. Maynard Jackson, you know, like I say, I got mixed feelings about Maynard. You notice I don't mention him very much. I ain't gonna sling him under the bus. I've got mixed feelings where Maynard is concerned. So I'm not gonna condemn him. I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna shoot down what you're saying, but I got mixed feelings where Maynard was concerned. There were some things that could have been done better, okay? Which is easy to say if you're not in the mayor's office, but there are things that could have been done better. So I've got mixed feelings where that's concerned.
Hey, be careful up
I
there
like
by
a
that,
dude like Marion Barry
Exfield.
who leads and administers as if he's only going to have one term in office. Marion Barry ran DC as if he only had one term in office. And that he had to get everything done he was going to get done in them 4 years. He ruled it like he was only going to have one term in office. And that's the way you're supposed to do it. That's how you become a transformative figure. If the patient is in dire distress, you need somebody who's going to go in with radical medicine, and that's what Marion Barry did. And they've been hard at work ever since trying to undo everything Marion Barry did. They've been hard at work trying to undo all of it.
Actual to Ultra One. Vehicle secure. Move it to the HLZ for extraction.
Sylvester Turner in Houston has been a damn disgrace.
Dino 4 is holding in the extraction point. Advise you get here fast.
Ass-kissing, ugly, backward step in the
Come on, man,
past.
you going?
He has helped anything and everything in the city of Houston except black. Anything and everything he can do in Houston to help anyone and everyone except black. He's had anyone but black. And that's a damn shame because from Beyonce to anybody else with a name, Houston has been carried on black people's shoulders. Houston being a national name has been carried on black people's shoulders. And damn sure even the NFL team. Houston as a nationally known name has, let me tell you something. Young people from Louisiana, Missouri, East Texas, they talk about going to, when they talk about going to places, these young folk want to go to a place where they feel like there's other black folk who are going to hold it down for them. So what do they name? If they go east, they talk about going to Atlanta. If they talk about going west, they talk about going to Houston. You see, I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, so I-20 is a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive from Shreveport to Dallas. But if them kids have their alternatives, they have their brothers, they want to go to Houston. They want to go to Houston. So, but that's basically built off of the name that these other folk have done in Houston. It damn sure hasn't been because of the NFL or anything else. It's because of what black folk have done in Houston. That's it. That's it. So Sylvester Turner has made sure that he has maximized opportunities for everybody except black people. He hasn't maximized any opportunities where black folk are concerned. While London Breed is giving free money to transsexuals because Sylvester Turner has been only a little bit further on this side of Bootalazy. It's only been a little bit on this side of them. Just a little bit. He's just, I mean, literally, we want to talk about one of those tin pot dictators. One of those tin pot dictators from Africa somewhere. Sylvester Turner even looks like him. He even looks like him. That's a point. In any case, what's the condition of black people in Houston, in Chicago, in New York? Everything that gets built in New York showed me the template and the game plan. It showed me the template and the game plan for what they were going to do everywhere. I took a look at the condition of black folk in New York and realized, man, black folk can't go down there around Hudson Yards, man. Black folk can't go there. They're literally, when I went to New York City, I was like, man, if you ain't got no money, it's not gonna work for you. If you don't live in the area, it doesn't work for you. There's literally nothing you can do. If you have no money and you don't live in the area, it doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for you. So when they're talking about all these symbolic gestures such as, well, the 4 largest cities in America are led by black mayors. Folks, let me ask y'all a question. What does Sylvester Turner, quote unquote, lead in the city of Houston? What is he leading? Somebody tell me, what is he leading? What is Lori Lightfoot leading in Chicago? Somebody explain it to me. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna turn on the phone lines here in a couple of minutes so you can call me up and explain to me, what exactly are they leading? I wanna know, because if they're not actually leading black people to anything, what is the point of saying that these are black mayors? They might as well be white. If they're not actually doing anything to produce anything for black people, what is Eric Adams leading for black people in New York? In the case of Karen Bass, she's already made it very clear which side her bread is buttered on. She ain't got nothing for black folk. And unapologetic and proud about it. I ain't got nothing for y'all. She is Team Latino, and that is the end of that. So, I just have a simple question to ask there. What are they leading among black folk there? What are these folk leading? These are black mayors. They're leading. Okay, what are they leading? I have a simple question about that. What exactly is it that they're leading? What are they leading and where are they leading you to? What exactly is it that you're bragging about here? It's not as if any of these cities are bastions of empowerment for black people. Where's the black power in Houston? Will someone explain to me, where is the black growing power in Houston? We ain't gonna talk about Chicago. We're not even gonna discuss Chicago. Where's the black power in New York City? You got some folks hustling and trying to make their way, but you don't have any power. Folks, I'm gonna say this, you ain't gonna like it. You can't compare Harlem to Chinatown. You can't compare Harlem to Chinatown, and you should be able to. But then again, when you have it being attacked on all sides, including by Columbia University, by the way, something that's not happening in Chinatown, then yeah, you see what's going on there. Where's the black empowerment in Los Angeles? Where's the black empowerment that Karen Bass has represented and is presiding over in Los Angeles? Where is it? What is it? What's it gonna be? What does it look like there? What is she actually doing? If you're gonna invoke the name London Breed, then you need to tell me, what is London Breed doing for black people? If you're gonna say, well, it's a black mayor, what are they doing? What are they doing? What good does it do you to have a black mayor if they are not going to do anything?
This sounds like an old man.
Looking old. What's the point of saying, hey, black man? And they're not stupid. People, CNN puts out stories like this for the purposes of putting up window dressing, and this is what allows the in-denial bootleg media to sit up here and tell you, well, you know, things is getting betters. Things is getting betters. It's coming together for us here. Anybody who wants to sit up here and be in denial of it. OGK Network, you're absolutely correct. Newark, New Jersey.
No, he didn't, Jez.
Newark, New Jersey should be a enclave for black people in empowerment. Shout out Cory Booker. In New York City, Rudy Giuliani came in, cleared out the crime, cleaned up the streets, ran off the smut peddlers, and then cleared the way for real investment there. That's the kind of thing that's supposed to be
right next to the
in Newark and Atlanta. And,
put this right next to the next one.
And instead they put in
get away from our team after you drop that
symbolic representatives, and their job is to stall. Let's be very, very clear. Sylvester Turner's job has been to stall.
Expect resistance.
He's been here for the purposes of stalling. He's stalling for time. Jason's stalling for time for what? Stalling for time until they can bring in your replacements. Lori Lightfoot, if you ever saw a disposable candidate, if you ever saw a disposable person, forget a political candidate, just a disposable Homo sapien, that'd be Lori Lightfoot. Folks, if that woman disappeared tomorrow, would the city even notice? Would anybody even put out a missing persons report? If Lori Lightfoot vanished tomorrow, poof, would anybody even put out an APB or file a missing persons report? Does she even have any next of kin who would call 911, 411, 311, any 11? Now that sounds funny until you realize, by the way, actually nobody would. That's how inconsequential she is. Okay, then if she's that inconsequential, black folk in Chicago can't name a singular critical project or issue that Lori Lightfoot is spearheading for black people. That black folk are saying, Jason, we got to keep her in office because there's a project we're working on right now that she has been critical and key and instrumental in us pushing forward. Somebody name one. Name one critical key project that Lori Lightfoot is involved in. Because Lincoln Yards, we know that Lori Lightfoot was instrumental in pushing tax credits, their permits, clearing the land, everything that Lincoln Yards needed. Lori Lightfoot has been putting her Timberland boots all over folk to make sure that gets done. She was at press conferences bragging.
For your squad. You will lead them in.
And you all remember I've mentioned Lincoln Yards before. She was at press conferences bragging that Lincoln Yards is her baby. That they've been working on it for years, but it's under her administration that Lincoln Yards is finally breaking ground. Remember? So somebody tell me, what is it? What is a project like Lincoln Yards or anything even remotely close to that black folk are working on in Chicago? And Jason, Lord, I know she got her issues. You know, she's crass. She is unappealing. She is intoxicated. But Jason, there's a project we're working on, man. This is gonna be black folk are coming up off of this. So we supporting her because she's instrumental. If she's not in office, she's really been instrumental in us getting this done. Name one thing that's helping black people that she's instrumental in, that she's necessary in, that she's been spearheading. Show me one, because I can name a number of different things for white folk. I can name a number of different things. I can't name a single equivalent for black people. How about Mayor Adams in New York? They're spending $300 million a year. $300 million a year for illegals in New York City. $300 million. Let me go ahead and show you that article here again for those of you who got here. New York Post. Remember I covered this a few months ago. New York is ready, chomping at the bit, gearing and ready to go to spend almost a third of $1 billion. Heading towards $500 million for non-citizens. So for black folk getting moved out, gentrified out, ethnically cleansed by Columbia University, ain't no money. For illegals out of nowhere, we can find $250 million. Folks, do y'all know what the ambitious black people of Harlem, East Harlem, Washington Heights, do you know what they could do with a $300 million investment? If you took just 1 year, not even the ongoing expense they're talking about, because we're taking out black folks' pockets, do you realize what the ambitious, industrious black folk of North Manhattan could do with $300 million? All right, now listen, some of y'all got a little bit of animosity towards Manhattan, New York. I ain't hating on you. Let's jump on the BQE and cross on over. Let's go ahead and hop on over into Brooklyn. Look here, Flatbush, Atlantic. Hell, I'll throw Ocean in there. You know, I understand we got a Hasidic thing going on, but I'll throw Ocean in there. Can you imagine what the ambitious individuals on Flatbush, Utica, Atlanta, could you imagine the Asians running their racist ass hair stores and laundromats? Could you imagine what they could do with a $300 million infusion? I didn't say 3 years worth, just 1 year of what they're planning to give illegals. 1 year. No wonder this is about freezing black folk out, giving us a whole bunch of damn excuses, but then they got a whole bunch of damn money.
With those objectives to secure faction mission progress.
I can name the blocks, people. I can name the blocks. There's a reason why I've traveled the country as I have. I can name the blocks. I can name them. Think about that for a few moments of what they could do under those circumstances. With those types of resources. If they actually had those types of resources, and by the way, I would those types of resources with oversight, by the way. I will even say, okay, we can require oversight. Even with oversight. See, that's the kind of money that they give young white kids. That's the venture capital that they give young white kids, and then they spend half the damn money on office space. They don't even spend on the product. They spend half the money on office space. Understand, that's what we're dealing with. So when you take a look at these stories, this isn't innocuous. This isn't harmless. They're taking $300 million away from black folk, giving it to illegal aliens. When in reality, if you put that in the black folks' hands, you'd have a renaissance all over the place. That's exactly what they don't want. I'm not even going to bring the Bronx into it. I'm not even going to bring Queens into it. I ain't even going to bring Strong Island or Staten Island into it. I'm not going to bring any of that into it. I'm just going to strictly leave it at Manhattan and Brooklyn. I'm not even going to bring in the others. What would happen if black folk were given $300 million of investment? Now, let me go ahead and really blow it up for you. If black folk got 2 years worth, $600 million. If you had that available with black folk with $600 million and the tax credits and giving them access to the locations and whatnot, could you imagine what would happen? Could you imagine? Do you realize how many black entrepreneurs have been shut down in New York City? Think about that for a few moments. My people in New York City, do you know how many black folk, I'm going to go ahead and say it, how many black folk have been shut down, whether they had some bootleg strip clubs, some bootleg shoe shops, some bootleg restaurant or whatever. Do you realize how many black folk have been shut down in New York City? They've given money to Asians to keep their restaurants going, but do you realize how many black folk in New York City have been shut down? Y'all don't understand how many black entrepreneurs in that city have been shut down. Same thing in Houston, the turkey leg hut. And that's just one, because we all talk about the damn turkey leg hut, but there's a number of black businesses in the city of Houston that have been targeted for harassment and persecution. And in Chicago. Because you see, once you have black power brokers, let me tell y'all something. Businesses can do things that government can't. Businesses can do things that governments cannot do. When a business gets strong enough or big enough, that business becomes more powerful than the government. Do you understand that? Now, you're used to thinking about that concept at the level of a Tesla or an Amazon or a Microsoft or an Apple. But let me tell y'all something. That happens on the block too. A business can become large enough that it tells the government what to do. So they have a vested interest in making sure that you don't have that kind of power. Starting from the very beginning. So we got black businesses all over. In Los Angeles. Nipsey Hussle was just one. The police were camped out at his place, except the day he got murdered. Wasn't a cop in sight that day. Isn't that interesting? Any other time, police were always swarming and watching the place, but that day in particular, wasn't a cop in sight. What a coincidence, huh? But you tell me, what are the instrumental projects and the instrumental investments that these mayors and these black folks like, Jason, we got to keep them in office because we're working on a project that these folk have been instrumental in helping us promote. Can anybody name one? Can anybody say what it is? If you can, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933, your personal access code. Black Studio Program Assistance for only this kind of upload today. I want to thank all of you for joining us here tonight. Thank you to everybody who's contributing to PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. I'm opening up the phone lines. I want us to talk about this Black-led cities live. I want us to talk about these black mayors instrumental to black people the way they've been instrumental to Silicon Valley, the way that Sylvester Turner has been instrumental to Exxon, the way that Muriel Bowser and friends were trying to be instrumental to Amazon. Can you show me where they're doing that? We're going to go ahead and take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. When we come back, we'll take your phone calls and more. Don't go anywhere. This is Black Jack.
Hey, I'm Aorus. For a while, I walked around with this empty hands. I had a full-time job, but not in the field I wanted to be. But then I came across this book where it was like, the title was just for Guide to Being Black in IT. I read the book and the author took me through scenarios to reality teams. I sat down and read it and really took it out. After I got done, took a license and practiced in the labs and got certified. And I literally got up and applied for a position for the company I've been looking at for a while and got the job. Thanks to that book, I worked my job with confidence. If you're looking to get into IT or even in the field, now this is a must-read book. Go to www.beingblackInIT.com.
All Ultra, Dino Force inbound for extraction. Be with you soon. This is Dino 4. We're approaching the LZ now. Keep it secure for us. Ultra 1, we're seeing increased activity in the area. Stay sharp.
Visit Spirit of 1811. Our story, our family.
Ultra 1, Dino 4. We're standing by. Get to the extraction point now. All objectives and personnel secure. RTV at this time.
That's how you do that. I got out by myself too.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Press But Not Crush.
That's how you
Press
do
But
that.
Not Crush is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants, the slave population, and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves.
7 more reigns to go. Then I'm off to my prestige.
Political climate that does not address issues.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority, and the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the Blackest Radio program in existence. Of course, you are very welcome to give us a call. Thank you to everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. So, Brenda Starr, thank you very much. Ms. Daly, Red Moon, Sydney, New B1 Media is a lifesaver. I appreciate you as always. And Rhonda, yes, the Holland Tunnel off Canal. Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and take a few phone calls here now. We are discussing the lie of black-led cities. Let me go ahead and get caller from area code 773. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, it's Taran from Chicago, Illinois.
All right, Taran from Chicago. What's on your mind?
From Chicago, Illinois. Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right, Jason. Ever since when Harold Washington passed away in 1987, November of 1987, man, the city of Chicago has been, and the world is crap. You know, you're absolutely right. They're putting up all these condos, everything, also in the suburbs in Oak Park, Illinois as well. All on Madison. There's no more housing. It's all condos. So, yeah, they forcing us out, even in Forest Park, Illinois. I used to live in both places.
Yeah, you know,
Oak Park and Forest Park.
Yeah, Oak Park used to be a place where like young black folk went to. And it used to be a folk where young black folk used to go to when they were just starting out on their own and things like that. Over the last 10, 15 years, that's all changed now.
It's absolutely, and Percy Julian, his house over there, 515 East Avenue. His daughter is they giving her hell. She's trying to turn it into a museum, and everything, and Oak Park administration is giving her hell and hot water. Now, they didn't do that for Frank Lloyd Wright or that drunken Hemingway, Percy Julian's the brother that made blood plasma and all other things for us as people, So, in the city of Chicago, Mayor Lightfoot, you was absolutely correct. If she left office today, nobody would know anything about her.
All these missions
okay, and also she hasn't said a freaking thing about addressing us as a people to do anything for us. In the west side of Chicago, where I'm from, K-Town Finance off Madison, Pulaski, all over there, it's a ghost town, bruh. And also over here in Roseland, it's a ghost town. It's all fucked up.
For now.
That's all I can say about that, Jason.
For now. You saw what Chuck Schumer was saying yesterday. It's like, oh no, we need to bring in non-black people. That's who we need to bring in for that. So black folk, you go get an abortion and we'll go ahead and empty y'all out by any means necessary. And when it's time to bring people in, it'll be folk who are, as long as they're not like you. So yes, a ghost town for now, but that's the whole point. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller area code 804. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, yes, Mr. Black. This is Kendall from Richmond, Virginia.
All right, Kendall from Richmond. What's on your mind?
I just want to get... So I want to get a shout out to Marion Barry, and I'm really originally from Detroit, so I'll give shout out to Mayor Coleman A. Young. He kept our city alive, man. He kept black police, blah, blah, blah. But basically, the point I was trying to get to is they're really trying to undermine us by any means necessary. By any means. And that's it.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. It's the same strategy everywhere. It's not like they're reinventing the wheel. It's the same thing. They cut their teeth in places like New York. How do you get people out in these bureaucratic ways, price them out, bring in industry, stonewall them, starve black folks' economy, feed non-black people's economy? It's slow walking the dog, but they're trying to get it. They've been getting it there. Let me get caller from area code 469. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Thomas calling from Dallas, Texas.
Thomas from Dallas, what's on your mind?
Yeah, Jason, I mean, you're right. I mean, I live right here. I live in Dallas, man. And like you said, in the Plano area, they really building that area up. I mean, you live in it's called the College County area. You got Plano, you got Frisco, you even got McKinney. And, man, I mean, you go all over Dallas pretty much, man. Y'all, you see that type of play move that's going on. And with these so-called black mayors, man, there's no such thing as a black mayor anymore. With what they put in office, man, they already have these guys bought and sold. And with Marion Barry, he wasn't bought and sold. That's why they couldn't control him. He didn't care about what they said about him, what they did about him. He was going to help his people, and we don't have that in office anymore. We have people that's already bought and sold coming in. They're going to do the bidding of white supremacy. Black people doing the bidding of white supremacy is what we have in office today. Same way with the mayors, the governors, even Barack Obama playbook. That's all it is. Same thing. Bought and sold black people.
And like I say, definitely when you take a look at how they've been building things out and stuff, and they're going to keep going because Plano has just exploded since I was there, 25, 30 years ago.
Right.
And like folk in that area wouldn't even thought of that. Like when I was there, Plano was just a big ass bedroom community. They were building out houses, don't get me wrong. But as far as what they're doing there in Legacy West and all that wasn't even a thought.
Right.
You had the working professionals who lived in Dallas. They could go ahead and hit the freeway, heading on up into Plano, and that was it. And Allen was the sticks. Allen was nothing. There was nothing in Allen, Texas back in 94, 95, 96. Everybody from there knows that was the sticks. So Plano was just a little suburb, and Allen was the sticks. It took them virtually no time to turn Plano into its own affluent city. Allen now is basically on its way, although it's too small, so traffic is just congested. So I'm like, I guess next stop, Oklahoma. And you have to ask yourself a question. What is your so-called black leadership or black representation doing for you here? What are they doing? What are they spearheading? Because I see plenty going on for everybody else. I don't see anything going on over here. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller America 267. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Sean out of Philly.
All right, Sean out of Philadelphia. What's on your mind?
So I just wanted to make a point. You referenced how they're giving illegal immigrants $300 million a year, basically to set them up. Not giving black folk anything, but they'll give these young white entrepreneurs $100 million every single year to do nothing but buy real estate. And that's basically the same thing that happened with Sam Bankman-Fried, this new FTX Bitcoin situation where he literally raised billions of dollars. First thing he did was buy $100 million worth of real estate in the Bahamas, and basically it was an entire fraud. And it reminds me of a situation where a few years ago you had SPACs, or special purpose acquisition companies, blank check companies. Basically just, here's a blank check and do what you want and give us the money on the back end. Right? They raised about $50 billion a few years ago, but at the same time, black folk can't get anything to do anything with. So I'll end my plane there.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 347. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, brothers? Archie of Archie Window Cleaning. I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, Archie, where are you calling from, Archie?
Calling from New York City, Bronx.
Okay, Archie calling from the Bronx, and what is on your mind?
Just trying to figure what's the solution, because every channel I go to, all we doing is talking, whining, gossiping, but we're not coming to a solution. You understand me?
Okay, Archie.
We need to come up with a plan.
Okay, Archie.
Or something to execute it.
Okay, Archie of Archie's Window Cleaning. Can you actually articulate for us what is the problem? That was a symbol. Stunned silence. Let me try again. Can you articulate for us exactly what is the problem that you think a solution is not being provided for? Can you actually articulate what is the problem?
Oh man, you see, where can I start with the problem? What's the problem? I mean, first of all, we got the brother Kanye West trying to do something. We got Kyrie Irving trying to do something, which is starting a spark right now in all of us, because we all connected. We all know what's going on. We all see what's wrong, but no one's really trying to.
But in relation to what you're complaining about now, you said ain't nobody saying no solution. I'll ask again. Can you tell us what is the problem that you say no solution is being presented for, sir?
I'm not even sure what you're trying to say, because I mean, the problem's right here in our face. You mean, what's the solution? We need to come together as one and create our own. We need our own instead of begging these people for something. We need to come up together to get our own, man. We got people that got money. So what's the problem? Why are we not coming together? What's the problem? What's going on?
Okay, that's the question that we're asking. You're saying that folks are not presenting solutions. You're saying that we're not presenting solutions to what exactly? Fourth time. What is it that you feel a solution's not being presented to?
I guess this us. We need to come together as one. We killing each other. We need to come. We need to stop. We need to start somewhere. We need to start with us. That's the solution. We need to start with us, man. Like, we need to start policing our own. Like, doing for us. We need to start doing something for us.
What do you think is the biggest problem facing Black people in New York City today?
The biggest problem right now in New York City is these cops. These cops out here.
Okay. You think that the biggest problem facing Black people in New York City today is the police department?
Then we got these migrants coming. We got migrants here. I mean, where to start at?
Okay, so the police and the migrants. So you're saying that those are the two biggest issues that are facing us today. All right, fine. I'll take those two in particular. Have we not been speaking on specifically those two issues?
Yes, we've been speaking on it.
Okay, now...
We've been speaking on a lot of issues.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. Now, just so I can have a frame of reference here, because I don't know how long you've been in New York City. How old are you?
I am 35.
Okay, you're 35 years old. So, Archie, what do you think is the, quote, solution to the city government bringing in as many illegal aliens as they can into your city? What do you think the solution to that is?
First of all, they shouldn't have came in the first place. They didn't even ask us if we wanted these people to come. No disrespect to no one, but that's one right there. My solution is like, I mean...
Ultra One, activity has increased in the area. Keep your eyes open.
Recon drone active.
I'm taking fire.
will not die here.
Battery recon offline.
I got you.
I am in your debt.
I got you!
I will not forget this.
Ultra One, use your tactics to locate contacts towards cash.
I got you!
Thanks for that.
Took around! I need medical! Trophy system online. Taking effective fire!
You see where he's at?
I got you!
I am in your debt.
Shit.
I'm hit!
Motherfucker, some damn good shit. Oh shit, there's the juggernaut. Get the fuck out of here. I'm upstairs. Oh shit, he coming in the house. He coming in the house. Don't go in there.
I got you.
Get the fuck out of there.
I will not forget this.
I got you. I'm fading
He
here.
went in the house.
I'm good. Go!
Ultra One, weapons case secure. Be advised, enemy operators are tracking your location. Ultra One, activity is increasing near your location. Stay alert.
Hey, wait for dude. Oh shit. Come on, man.
I got you. Suboptimal.
Thanks for that. Getting you back in the fight.
I'm good. Go. Check fire.
Behind us.
You will not die here.
I'm good. Go! Trophy system online. Shit, bad guys! I got you.
Stay on us. They want that case.
Not a real guy. What the fuck?
Damn. Almost had it. That's the first time I ran that mission.
Ultra One, activity has increased in the area. Keep your eyes open.
They shouldn't have been. They're here now, so what you gonna do? Yo, I don't feel like the bad guy. I'm telling you, you gotta leave. But we can't afford them, man, because they're gonna start taking our jobs, black folks' jobs, man. That's how it's gonna end up. At the end of the day.
Okay, I know Ashley and them was trying to go do some karaoke and shit.
So what is the solution to that?
Me too.
From a distance, yeah, they look
I'm asking
pretty.
you, what's the solution?
I feel like we need to re-educate ourselves, man. Because we all got the same spirit in one. We all connected.
Okay.
But we need to re-educate
But then once
ourselves.
you know just in certain spots, like some of the shit they usually don't make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah,
what the fuck is that? But when
this calling each other, all this,
it makes
educate
sense.
ourselves. We ramp. This whole thing got to be ramped. So canceling your hip hop, brother. So canceling certain things. So canceling, pushing back. That's what we gotta do. Instead of talking all this, do it. Black out.
So we need to cancel these hip-hop artists. That's the solution. So we need to cancel these hip-hop artists. That's the solution.
That could be a start.
Okay, so if we cancel these hip-hop artists. Kanye just got canceled. Isn't that good enough?
Let me see. Hip-hop and negativity coming to that.
Security intel and loot to gain access to
Big clothes. They seem to be our culture. It seems like everybody seems to be following them and imitating.
She's mentioning not locally, not nationally or anything. And plus, we just had a lottery for Cook County resident where you get $500 a month tax-free for 2 years. And all the people I know did not get it. And I'm thinking, even the illegals apply for it and get it. And I'm thinking most of them probably got it, or the Hispanic. So that, I'm going to land my plane there.
Thank you for giving us a call, 9. Let me get caller from area code 323. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, big brother Jason. It's brother Elijah calling out of Brooklyn, New York.
Brother Elijah, what's on your mind?
Ultra, you need to exfil with those objectives to complete your active mission. Get moving.
You did a excellent broadcast yesterday and today. You did a similar broadcast about black mares. You told you was teaching us the rise of the black mares started in the 1970s. My question is this. We had black mares like Maynard Jackson, the late great Marion Barry.
Let's go back him up. He already at the safe, I think.
The sister just mentioned Mr. Washington. They were doing pretty good work for black people, but the black mares who came after them, they didn't really the footsteps in bringing tangibles to black people in their respective cities, like the first ones of their generation did.
In the aftermath of the civil rights movement, the 60s, you had a very clear
I'm behind them.
Mapped out and carved out by
most
courageous revolutionaries. Fred Hampton, H.Rap, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, the message was rock solid. By the time you get done with them, the message was rock solid, so everybody understood what the agenda was, so they sure that wouldn't happen. When you go through this time frame here, everybody knows what needs to be done. So they started getting politicians who at least were trending in that direction. Now, we get to the 80s, and here you come with Tom Bradley and some of these other folks. The white folk were like, okay, the dam has broken as far as your black mayors in major cities and elected leadership. The dam is broken there. Well, we got to go tell black society who their candidates should be.
So what's the objective of this shit?
That's what the agenda became. Now you start
to that bus station.
Bradleys, and you start to get
basically you just collect everything you can and you can use it in
anyway, or the one who came before. But you start getting those people. Gray, Mayor Gray in DC, and David Dinkins, and
they got like exclusive shit on here.
So they're like, okay,
not really. It's just a faster way to level up and get extra guns for you to use in a regular war zone thing.
Okay. Do get elected. We can start setting up a crop of Trojan horses. This is when you start seeing things like the Rhodes Scholars. This is when you start seeing things like Simone Sanders as a high school. And then all these decades later, here she is on network TV and whatnot. That's not accidental. They're not going to put any power behind you and resources behind you unless you are a known entity that
as long as I got my red dot, I'm cool.
You got to be
enemy operator secured a weapons case.
You got to be on their team.
Now that's a hard mission, getting that gun.
They got
their
them
weapons
case.
Out.
The partial revolutionaries, they got them cleared out. Now you're left.
They're gonna have some time getting out there. Like you gotta do 3 missions to get that weapons case.
Convince you that the vague generalities that they speak are actually specifically tailored. Now that
I'm going to the buy
bag
station
language
real
is what
quick.
you need to vote for.
Buy some more
We're going
plates.
to a point now where the trick bag language isn't working. Stacey Abrams was
I got
voting.
a,
That's not
plate
gonna work.
box.
So now you see CNN talking about, well, you got some black mayors, while Chuck Schumer's like, hey, hurry up and open the
How you get 3 armor slots?
You gotta get a new vest. You can buy them, or you can.
You need 35K.
Or you'll find them.
What's your name?
This is Big Stomp from Dallas, Texas.
Big Stomp from Dallas is in your mind.
Well, excellent broadcast. Politicians go for it to the highest bidder. They boot licking and they sell out. All of them. White, black, all of them. If you got the money, they got the time. They'll sock it to your pocket like the stock market if you got the money. It's all about having money, power, wealth, power, and influence. Look at her.
I ain't got no room for no plates.
Warnock.
Make sure y'all got
Herschel
your gas.
Walker.
I didn't even know I bought that many.
He's against abortion. He's against immigrants. Walker, Warnock, expected a whole debate. These guys, the Democrats.
And y'all need some plates.
They all got the same talk. They all got the same deflections.
Said take them. Take them off.
They never tell you what they bring in. They only, want us to. They always deflect. Now,
Let me go get another set.
like you always tell us, power, influence, wealth. Kanye and Kyrie are going through hell because they said something about us.
So you good on plates?
But
I got one plate.
Yeah, I'm short.
It's brought hell.
I got 3. I got 6 other plates. So if I need plates, just let me know.
Operators have extracted a weapons case.
Superstar basketball players straight to their knees.
Yeah, that's the main mission everybody be going for. You gotta come in and get your weapons up. You gotta come and get your weapons up and then go straight to fight dude and get that extract.
So we gotta kill these dudes right here.
Oh, they just here.
I need some bullets.
They just here because.
Foundation of Black America. You've been on the code, you're getting stronger. We have to tighten it up, dial it up.
Boy, this gun is too damn small.
Consolidate.
So y'all see that little
Thank you very much for giving us a call.
Yeah, who was that knocked out over there?
Code 310. You're on live.
I don't know. I'm about to head over there.
I think it's a glitch.
It's gotta be because it's only 3 people on the team.
Okay, your phone broke up on you. This is who on the line?
Then fuck it, let's go find out.
Yeah, can you hear me, Jason?
Yes, what is your name?
TG out of Los Angeles.
All right, TG out of Los Angeles. What's on your mind?
Man, you upset me last night's broadcast was Chuck Schumer.
Ultra One, activity is increasing near your location. Stay alert.
Place from Marlin. So that's been given a strong shout out to California. And
you know what? You're absolutely right. I'm sorry that I'm interrupting for just a moment. You're right. Absolutely. That's the guy. I forget his name off the top of my head, but yes, he's the guy who Gavin Newsom chose there to take Kamala.
I got a stronghold key card too if y'all want.
So you're absolutely right. I neglected to mention.
All right, we got a stronghold on our way there.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Activate a UAV tower.
And it's
one of them bitches
they out here. I'm here on the ground. My office is out in the woods. And that SoFi Stadium, man, they are throwing concerts up.
Let's go do that shit real quick.
SoFi, they are bringing those people in and out. They are changing the way traffic moves. They are adding all new types of infrastructure. And our black people are on the street. And even with all that going on, had a conversation with my black coworker. He's 6 years older than me. We're talking to our students. We work for an organization that teaches young folks about technology. And he's gonna tell me that black folks shouldn't ask for cash reparations because there'd be a violent white fight.
All right, go to stronghold.
Stay sharp.
And the students were all for cash reparations until he mentioned the violent environment, saying that white people weren't ready for cash reparations. I said, why do we ever have to think ready? Have you ever seen a judge look at a thief and say, man, I don't want to send the thief to jail because it might ruin their life. They stole. They got to pay. Jason, it's not as good in L.A.
You know, and that is treasonous. That is treasonous. About how old is that guy?
We got the stronghold key.
40.
I got it.
You got to understand.
All right, come on. Come on.
He's got no excuse for that kind of cowardice, but you have to.
There's gonna be having
boot licking,
other real players,
and ass kissing. That's the guy right there.
No, these are
scared to death to do anything. And we've always been played by his kind. He's the kind of like, look here, the white folks is beating my ass. Well, if they only, how long is they gonna beat it? Oh, for 2-3 minutes? Okay, well then, I guess I can take that, as opposed to being in a position where that doesn't happen to you.
Exfil with those objectives.
So just
mission progress.
and that really offends me that he would say that in front of young people. You see, we as older men, and you are among that number now, when you're talking to the adolescents and the teenagers, we're supposed to be rock solid. We are supposed to be exhibiting the strength and the vigor and the spirit of the warrior class. That's what we're supposed to be doing. He didn't sound like no damn warrior. His strategy ain't gaining anything. Y'all shouldn't talk about reparations. Why not? That might upset somebody. Everything we do upsets somebody. Name anything that we're trying to do to benefit or promote ourselves that doesn't upset people, where they don't threaten us. Barack Obama ran for president. They threatened him the whole damn time. There's literally nothing we can do. This guy's, well, look here, if you just keep your head low, man, they out here clipping black folks left and right, keeping their heads low. They clipping them left and right.
They got 2 armor vests in there.
So just understand, in the world of the coward, hiding in the corner is always the strategy. There is no other strategy. Every strategy for him is hiding in the corner. Then you take a look at his life. You see what he's built. You see what he's progressed. You see what he controls. And he's a fellow who doesn't own or control.
Hey, where the underground?
So his answer to everything is going to be, you know, y'all need to just keep it down high. Look, the book.
I got a key for underground.
Be advised, UAV is our
Plantations don't make Sambos. Fear and cowardice does.
I don't know what that bitch is
Let me
at.
say it again for everybody. Plantations don't make Sambos. Fear and cowardice does.
Call what?
And that's the kind of guy right there. White folk come with the job with, hello there, Miss Ann. How you doing there, Miss Ann?
El Barger.
And he'll be that, that's that kind of fellow. Remember what I taught you all? There are only 2 types of
come up on the map.
Those who recognize that racism exists and fight it, and those who recognize that racism exists and go back to picking the cotton. And you can see which one he is. But in the face of teenagers, in the face of young people, we have got to show them what a warrior is.
Shit, somebody's up here.
We embolden them. He's teaching them, well, you know, if you just keep your head low, now you can live. Who needs a white supremacist?
Watch him, I got the stairs.
Clowns like him.
I'm good. Go. Exactly.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me
I'll go to your mark.
You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is David. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I want to talk about 2 things: our former mayor and our recent governor's race with Stacey Abrams. Concerning Maynard Jackson, the former mayor of Atlanta, he has been the best black mayor that we've had. He produced quite a few black millionaires. He did so well that once his tenure was up, he couldn't even find a job. He had to move to Chicago.
Wait, what's my way going to?
A law firm there when they sold municipal bonds. Yeah. As it relates to Andy Young, he did very little. He was so busy over in Africa, making millions over there that he was hardly ever here in Atlanta. So consequently, he had when Maynard came back to run.
Yeah, I got the key to go on the ground. I found it right here.
Realized that Andy Young had given most of
to the back.
What he the accomplishments that he had done back to the powers that be. So he didn't even run for a second term. So as it relates to Stacey Abrams' election, when she first ran,
what?
I don't know whether you know it or not, but
what the fuck just happened?
Old Dominion voting.
You hit that bitch on the corner.
And those voting machines tampered. So,
coming this way.
If you remember, he was not side with Trump.
They killed me.
Oh, that's crazy.
I couldn't get myself out.
You crashed the damn helicopter.
Well, I swear I didn't even touch that bitch.
How the hell you crashed the helicopter in the field? You almost hit the mountain.
All the voting machines off the county.
I'm out there looking at the map a little bit.
If those voting machines were bad down there, they were bad down Georgia. So,
because of one dude.
Because a motherfucker can't miss a mountain?
Brother,
you fly into a mountain?
How old are you?
I'm 70 years old.
I'm not surprised. Thank you for giving us a call tonight. Yeah. Caller from area code 773 on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, what's two of these guys, dog? You go after all of that. Then you gonna fly the damn shit into a helicopter.
Caller from area code 609. You're on live with the Black Channel.
You
what's your name? Where you calling from?
What the hell be wrong?
How much more money is that?
And I haven't tried to never tried to fix it.
I think he's at the check cash store.
It's just a major deterrent.
That's a party foul.
What?
That's a party foul.
Is he at the strip club, y'all?
You want me to get you down there or not?
You want someone to?
Yeah, why not?
How much
really
is that
could use
going
the
to
money. Can you do 15 or not?
Alright, hold on. Let me get to this.
You got $5?
Walgreens real quick.
What?
Let me get to this Walgreens.
You got $5?
Oh, you gotta go to the ATM?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Are you definitely sure? You're not gonna make me wait?
No, I'm not gonna.
I don't know.
Oh, I hear a transaction going on, y'all. Okay, well, I was waiting to see how this turns out. Sound like they had a transaction going on over there, but alright. Alright. No, well, we've eavesdropped long enough. It sounded like they had a transaction going on. She's like, come on around the corner. You got $5? You got $5? Okay. So, I didn't know what was going on, y'all. it is what it is. It is what it is. Caught the brother at the wrong minute. It is what it is. Call me code 917. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Brother Black, Sage from Brooklyn. How's everything?
All right, brother. What's on your mind?
I'm good. So, first of all, I want to apologize earlier for the caller from the Bronx that made New York look stupid. I wanted to say this. As we spoke previously on the business, again, I work in city contracts, so I see a lot of money going in and out. And as I spoke to you before on the business, I recently got a promotion. So I'm now at the table seeing different money being divvied out to like different people, such as quote unquote minorities or white, whatever the case is. So the recent meeting that we just had, without getting into too much, specifics, the only minority representation that was there was an East Indian guy. So that's our representative, the East Indian guy. They get awarded specific city contracts to do. They get millions of dollars to do work within New York City, whether it be buildings, whether it be sidewalk, fixing, roadway fixing, all of that. But we're not seeing any of that money. So again, I can't speak for any of those other four mayors that you have on the screen, but what Eric Adams is doing, specifically for black people in New York City, absolutely nothing. Not only that, he recently made my commissioner, the company I work for, it's some dude from DR that wasn't even born here. He's from Dominican Republic. He wasn't even born here. He's not even told you. But you gave him the top job in this agency. So again,
you asked, what is Eric Adams doing specifically for New York City? For black people, absolutely nothing.
There isn't anything of any consequence that black people are trying to spearhead, anything of any consequence that benefits black people that Eric Adams has a hand in. He's not being an advocate for black people. He's not being an advocate for protecting black people's property, black people's economic progress. He's not doing anything to promote black people. There isn't anything the black folk are working on that he's critical and crucial and key to getting done. Now, if you're a $1 billion developer, he got your back. For anything else, no. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller area code 678. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, this is Benito from Atlanta.
Benito from Atlanta. What's on your mind?
Yes, I hope my question isn't too far off a topic, but I was just asking about, sorry about the beeper, hold on. Asking about what your thoughts were on them preparing Michelle for the run. Noticed some activity lately with her not endorsing Biden and also not being involved in endorsing any of the
Michelle Obama. Nobody is endorsing Biden. AOC is not endorsing him. The Democrats understand how weak they are. Nobody is endorsing Biden, so don't read too much into that. Literally nobody. Raphael Warnock is not endorsing Biden in the debate with Herschel Walker. I mean, so nobody's endorsing Biden because they understand he's toxic. However, as far as Michelle is concerned, Michelle's not running for nothing.
Hey man, can you like turn your music down?
They're looking to galvanize the black.
Your mic?
That's
please.
Expect resistance from local
so take a look at how many races
watch
he
for
went around
other
trying to help
operators
people
in
and
the
got
AO.
beaten.
What's up?
So Michelle's really trying to sell books and her podcast right now. So
Don't you shut up,
members like Sarah Palin.
What the fuck? It gave me doolies.
For president. And Lawrence O'Donnell talked about that. He said,
well, that's weird.
Sarah Palin is not running.
What's your phone? All right.
Run the numbers. She already understands the headwind she'd be facing. She's not running.
How am I supposed to aim with
She's
these?
running for a TV deal. And
You
sure
don't.
enough, they were pitching a show to Discovery or whatever, the Palins in Alaska or whatever. It was a
All right, fuck it.
So Michelle ain't.
Oh, Jesus.
Michelle,
Where'd all those guys come from?
She's trying to run something. You know why? Because Michelle watched what happened to Hillary Clinton. And she doesn't want to have to answer the questions.
Oh, Jesus, I'm getting hit from behind.
She knows she's not going to be.
And not in a fun way.
She knows that. She saw.
We're in great spot with no coverage.
That's awesome. She
Yeah, I'm down.
She knows she's not going to get
I'm coming.
Yep. She's going to pay for all of Obama's sins. She's not.
Get ready to.
Ultra One,
Now,
we're
all they're
seeing
doing is
increased activity in the area. Stay sharp.
Publicity. Don't
I'm drowning it. I'm drowning in water.
Call, let me get caller area code 404. You're on
comes
live.
some more
with Black
backup.
Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I got you.
Yeah, I'm down.
I wanted to follow up on what you were saying about Maynard Jackson. The caller was right about one thing about, some of the things Maynard Jackson did.
Are you gonna stop?
Hang on. I just
Actual enemy UAV is active.
Maynard Jackson. And it's the Atlanta child molester. That continued even after Wayne Williams was arrested. So obviously, he wasn't the one that was committing the crime. And if he was, he wasn't doing it alone. But the investigation died when he got locked up. But yet the murders continued. As far as Andy Young, during his watch is when gentrification started taking hold in our neighborhoods here in Atlanta. And you come to Atlanta now, it's 30 thanks to him.
Let's go somewhere where it's actually has a
Franklin, even Andre Dickens.
You mean you don't like just shooting at random spots? That's how I get all my weapons up.
Pretty much ain't got shit.
How did I get 2 of these? What the fuck?
What you have, I mean, here's the
I don't remember picking up 2 of these.
You have nothing in Atlanta, because that wouldn't be true. However, in the words of Dr.
Garbage cans have shit in them? Yeah, I didn't know. It's like a dead drop
when
thing.
I take a look at the Westin, the
there's a boat outside.
Suites, when I take a look at all that construction along
Probably the enemy.
that's been happening for the last 10 years.
Cash deposited in garbage cans reduces cooldown of your insurance weapons.
This supposed to be the black
Fun.
Mecca. How many
Wait, shit, where'd my sim go?
structures are owned by black people? How many of these hotels
I need that.
are a black franchise?
I have two.
When Suites a franchise, who owns that? Is
That
it
stun grenade.
the Patel family? Along with everything.
No, I got behind you.
Ask ourselves. So what I'm saying is, you know, I don't expect
Yeah, that would make it.
everything.
Oh,
We
thanks.
have black leadership that is working in the interests of black
Wait.
people in the capital city of that
I dropped two. I need to drop one.
Take a look at Jackson, Mississippi. You look at
Where'd my you need me?
Birmingham, Alabama. These
I meant to drop one. I just used the one.
State's capital. That being the case,
I don't care that
I'm
much.
expecting you got a whole bunch of damn poor.
Okay.
And if I don't see the inequities being corrected and that balance being overcorrected, which is what you need to have true correction, is overcorrection, then I know you.
Oh, there's a bunch of people over here.
I know you're playing around. I'm just saying, of the, as Dr. Claude Anderson would say, anything of any consequence. A barber shop is not of consequence. It's of consequence personally, but it's not going to upset the economic balance of the city. If you shut down the Westin downtown, that's going to upset the economic balance of the city. That's one structure by itself. I know. I was there on New Year's night 2021 when they had the sign in the lobby that said that you are taking a risk of coming in this building of contracting COVID, and that if you do, you forfeited your right to sue. I have pictures of that I showed on my other YouTube channel. I got pictures of it. There was a board in the lobby of the Westin when you're getting out the valet.
You know, I like this gun, but I also like these fucking dualies. They're actually working.
Check-in desk. A big sign that said that this is the state.
Like every other game I've ever played.
This was the state, not the city of Atlanta. This was the state of Georgia who put up that sign to say, we got the Westins back. You all can come here tonight, but you are not going to be able to sue them if anything happens to you. So what I'm saying is, okay, now that's what the state is doing for one damn.
What are you doing?
That must be a pretty damn important
what are you doing?
building, huh, brother?
What are you doing?
Oh, no doubt. And it's
what are you doing?
As a matter of fact, C.R.U made sure Georgia Pacific and a high-rise in Buckhead didn't pay a water bill.
There we going.
For 17
Good question.
years.
And I have a pony.
The owner of the Falcons destroyed two historic black churches that every school in the AU came out of to build the Mercedes-Benz for a second-rate team. And one of the church ladies put what I just said. She said, on them, and they've been there before that. And
maybe
Shooter, I bet you he went to torn out two synagogues to build that Mercedes-Benz stadium. Dude, how lame are you to take the
well, it's not working now. Damn it.
Sponsorship down there in New Orleans? The black men we have been puppets. The only one that really did anything of the most significance for us is Maynard Jackson.
How the hell do the AI shoot
when it came to the murders, man? That's where I started.
This ain't for kids.
That's why I told you I got mixed feelings. Where
You ever heard of like hackers?
I can't really
Same thing.
Yeah, right. Level of marriage.
1-1.
Can't really
We
do
need those
that.
objectives to
My
secure
reason
mission
for it is
progress.
some of the
Move to
politics
extraction.
involved. So it's like I gotta hold Marion.
Some radiation blockers here.
I gotta hold him as the gold standard.
I need like bandages and
level of memorials. I'm not gonna put
something.
him down
What
there.
do I need?
I will just say where he's concerned.
9. I need 4 stims and 5 bandages.
Okay, I got 8 bandages.
So I'm not going to try to denigrate them.
I'm not worried about that.
Where Andrew Young was concerned, Andrew is actually pretty progressive.
I don't know where you are.
That wasn't.
There's a chopper shooting at us.
The issue was it economically?
That's not fun.
The issue was that economic progressiveness focused on black people. You're doing this.
Is there a helicopter shooting at us?
He's sitting up here
I
bragging.
just said that some good ass guns in there. Like our level is high, so they
like, okay, how much of that is
on it.
in the hands of black people?
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's real people.
You lock that in the hands of white.
No, it's not. It's a
Goddamn Gucci store in there.
They wouldn't be shooting at us.
Gucci store.
Yeah, but no, it's a computer thing that they have. It's like a mission thingy.
Nope, that's somebody on there.
Objectively.
Nope, it's not.
Okay.
No,
yeah, that's normal. Does anybody need ammo?
It's an AI.
If you need ammo, I got an ammo box right here.
And like when you go over to the rental car complex, for those of you who haven't been in Atlanta like that, if you go over to that rental car complex,
can we just get out of the restricted area?
Bridge, it takes you over to the rental car complex, and you can see the
like, hey, let's keep moving somewhere.
Cars come down on a freeway.
Yeah, we're in Bakalaka, Pakistan, I know, but like, whatever.
Clouds, one after another. And what I'm saying is, okay, with that much going on, you need to make sure that this is focused in the hands of black folks. You see, that's how you put together a 25-year plan that builds generational wealth. We're sitting over here complaining about them funneling
a weird
white
place. All right.
Let the white folk complain about them funneling towards us. How about we do that instead?
Yep.
Because nobody has an issue with us.
Advantages in here.
They're like, well, you know what it is. Okay, we're supposed to be
in the
same
same
mayor who is not, as far as I'm concerned, get his ass out of here. Not be meek in the service.
Nope.
Balancing the scales for black people.
Where the hell did it go?
Call of Mary Code 872.
You took it. No, I might have got wrapped it real quick. I don't know.
I have no idea. It was in one of those thingies.
All right, Grimes from Chicago, what's on your mind?
Alright, so this thing...
Is it weird that my brain automatically assumes the jumper cables are meant for some kind of sexual use?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was just checking.
So...
I'm drive here for somebody.
Revive pistol, yeah. Oh, I need that.
Going to be the #1 focus. That, and of course, with her wife being white, interracial sexual act.
Use of force is off-road.
Here's something that happened a couple of years ago during the COVID lockdown. So this is a scenario that we have. So when the lockdown...
El Catala attack photo. All right.
Stay home, save lives. You got the signs all up and down King Drive. And
if I need that, I'll be right there.
She had commercials, stay home, save lives, and all that stuff. So on the news,
where was the bandage?
Who is she pointing that message to?
On this shelf right here.
She's on the south and west sides of Chicago, taking her finger down at all of those things. Stay home and save lives. The only thing with that is
there's aspirin, but not a bandage.
No, right on that shelf, on that table.
Oh, right here.
Because
yeah,
scared because the media, incited so much fear into everybody for who was out and about every single day, the people that look like her wife. So, and of course, she's not going to say anything to those types of
we need.
She's going to continue to shake her finger down at us. And this is
what I need is a fucking cash station.
She's going to fight against injustice,
the closest one is here.
Against, those marginalized communities and all that, that type of lingo.
Oh, that puts us closer to the Masra City extraction point.
Unfortunately,
but we only got 14 minutes left.
Yeah,
and that 14 minutes goes by real fast.
Chance that it was going to be a lie, and it was, because look at how things
It seems like every time they do that now, with Lori Lightfoot, with Stacey Abrams, every time you're turning around, there's somebody talking about their brothers and stuff, or in the system and things like that. So I actually find that to be a bit of a disturbing.
All right,
find these black females.
where you want to go?
Their claim to
were I pinged, or were you guys pinged, or what?
Where were you pinged?
I forget who she was. A black female.
Ignore this ping.
Spy station. God damn it.
Prison or whatever. So yeah, I'm finding a disturbing trend of that kind of thing right there. They're finding folk, they people that's trapped involved in the system.
Where the fuck did it go?
Those are the kind of things kind of make my eyebrows go up. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get Call of Mary Code 804. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
There we go.
Hi. This is my name is Cassie, and I'm in Virginia.
Hello, Cassie. We're at in Virginia.
Could we get in a car and
all right,
go?
Cassie and Henrico, what's on your mind?
Have you guys ridden in the Hummer yet?
Two things, if you allow me. Our family has and we decided to take children.
Ray, where'd you guys go?
This year
in the water.
homeschooled.
Be advised, enemy operators secured a weapons case. Locations are marked on your
You
attack map.
sparked something. You said
Yeah, those
something
with the weapon case, they
a
might
while
take
back
our
made me go this path
exfil.
with my family.
They trying to get up out of here.
And that is, you cannot build warriors, and you got the enemy.
Is this a Hummer?
No, but I'll give you a Hummer once you get inside.
Said that.
Hey yo.
Sounds like a statement I agree with.
You know,
Fucking just get out of
I
here.
remember you saying it.
It's only 86. It's seriously, if you guys aren't gonna all get in there,
But you said,
we're just gonna run through it.
okay,
Thought we going to the cash
We are. I was about to turn to it, but it's right here, so whatever.
We homeschool, we got everything
I want to
set
dump
up,
some shit.
and we're talking to other
People
families
say ahead.
about it, and they because after the pandemic, we noticed that when the kids went back to school, it was a more hostile environment. It was.
All right, are we exfilling or sticking
We're
around?
going to attack now. We're going to attack the kids.
There's like a big ass building over
We
here, so
should plan on
whatever.
exfilling, but
They're not.
Yes. Yes, we should.
Here, I'm gonna set it up to where we all know that it's right here.
Go to school, and the kids really.
And if we get closer to it, we get closer to it.
Chopper.
Yep, I see.
Well, it may not have required a pandemic for that to occur. That's kind of thing, especially if you do
Shit.
They start ratcheting up the pressure as time goes on. Because the real thing is to discourage them and make them uninterested in the because they're willing to go into a hostile environment. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 832. You're on live with.
That was fun. Is that everybody? Yeah, right.
Yes.
What's going on, Jason? This is your boy Jared out of Houston, Texas.
All right, Jared out of Houston. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that in the background. Man, look here, man. I live in Houston. I'm gonna tell you right now, Sylvester Turner is doing nothing for the black population.
What kind of a hotel is this?
He's doing a lot of gentrification.
An outdoor hotel. AKA camping.
Being reciprocated towards the black community. I mean, a lot of the gentrification, like I went into a Metro PC.
I'm one of those showgirls, see?
And it's an entire Indian family and nothing but black customers. So we're not getting any of the benefits of all this gentrification happening over here. I'm sorry about the background, man.
Enemy operators secured a weapons case. Tracking their location on your attack map.
Now, my dog just acting up, man. But over Houston is like, what I would say is Sylvester Turner does not have black people back. And you can take it from me. The only people I see any benefits off of Houston Mayor
I don't.
Turner is actually going to be the black churches. 'Cause, like, if you look at the black
Let's go to that,
the only thing that looks like they're doing well
where I
in
just
black
tagged.
neighborhoods are
The car is next to that,
you know, like but you have a bunch of black people in the freaking apartment complex.
Thank you.
Across the street, you have this well-built freaking church.
I'm gonna fly there.
2 freaking towers.
I'm gonna take the elevator all the way up and.
Yeah,
Fuck right there.
sounds like
But, yeah.
a lot over there right now. So I'm not really sure what's.
What do you got? If you guys are getting attacked right now.
I hope Michael Vick ain't. I hope Michael Vick ain't over there. He got a lot going on right now, so I'm trying to stick with him, but I'm telling you. They spending Thanksgiving in Michael Vick's house, huh, y'all?
What are people here?
Well, he say this Thanksgiving we will be spending in Michael Vick's house. He already brought it, so I'm sorry, I'm dry snitching. Let me get call me code 323. You're on live with the Black Show. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I fell.
Hi, Jason. Felicia from Los Angeles.
Hi, Felicia from Los Angeles. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to tell you what Karen Bass is planning to do.
I got it.
She's planning to unite the city of Los Angeles and heal us from the scandals.
Are you coming?
The LA City Council.
Go up.
And that's what she plans to do for us for 2023.
Oh yeah, distract and deflect, and don't worry. Let's celebrate about me getting in the office.
You didn't have to
even
revive
though
We're coming.
her allegiance is clearly away from black.
There's a lot of people here.
Definitely.
All around you.
Right here.
Andy, to your right.
Nothing that
To your right there.
And then the top
There you
of
go.
our city council, the people running, are extreme,
Intel
progressive,
contract on a high-value target of the
with an
Los
insane
Alamos
What are you
ideology. So Los Angeles is doomed.
Get close enough for PI.
Is it your first day?
They can run a council. They're either racist.
Yo, ammo now.
That they're going to change everything here in
Yeah,
Los Angeles.
they're either
So I just wanted to comment on
racist. They're
that.
either racist or sexual deviants, one or the other. So it's like,
yeah,
you certainly, it's certainly the apocalypse there now.
Oh, Jesus
Thank you very
Christ.
much for giving us a call. Let me get caller area code 708. You're on live with Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
TBA.
What the
James
fuck?
from Chicago.
James.
How am I getting destroyed so quickly?
I just wanted to say,
I'm good. He's across the window.
Subject. Lori Lightfoot is not only not doing anything for the black population in Chicago.
We need to go to the
her
thingy.
way to do
Why are we
everything
in
she
here?
can for everybody else. When Chicago is getting, like busloads of immigrants coming over here from Texas, not only was she making sure they were put in nice hotels, giving like food and free health care and all of that stuff, despite the fact that Chicago was going through all of this gentrification, she also set up like some type of website where people were actual Chicagoans can go and donate, and she promoted it, asking people to go to donate.
Crumb Dog. Crumb Dog, a millionaire. Hey.
Over here at such high
I've heard that only one time before. Just kidding. I hear it all the time.
they needed resources from the people, so she was actually asking the people.
Oh, this is not Crumb Dog millionaire.
Gentrification.
True.
She was asking the people to donate for the immigrants. She's not done.
I'm gonna be the first person to die.
Society, and I'm sure you already know about the Proud Boys
Somebody's already shooting at me.
that got exposed, and then she refused to hire. So I just wanted to kick it back off.
Sorry, I forgot to wash mine in the dishwasher.
Well, I mean, you know, she was shipping out illegals to
Helicopter inbound.
She was saying
Dino Force inbound for extraction. We're 2 clicks out.
Elsewhere, so these folks in the
Where
north
is the enemy?
doing that. They're sitting up here advocating, but they're not border states. So by the time that the illegals
That's
get where they
what
are,
she
it's a small
said.
trickle of them. So they're real easy to sit up here and advocate for that when they're not having to deal
You
with
get me kicked
the
out the
second
job.
that they pulled up where they were,
I
all of
like
a sudden,
it.
no, ain't no
Ultra One,
sanctuary
Dino
city.
4. We're approaching the
Thank you
LZ.
very much for giving us a call.
Get
Let me
it
get call
secure.
Kicked out said what?
One, you're on
Kicked
live
out of
with
my
Black
job.
Channel. What's your name?
Talking
Where you
like
calling
that.
Oh.
I like it.
You're at work?
No. Well, yeah, I wish. I want to one day become a professional gamer.
Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Alright, get in the chopper. Why do we need ammo right now?
And they do absolutely nothing for black people. Yet we stand in line to vote for like Obama and all the rest of these crooks. We're not getting the rest of them. Just can't stand.
Yes.
Well, this
Yeah,
is
now I can move on.
Remember,
to the new
I told
white
you all
voting.
here, you can go to PBS Frontline.
Yay!
2008.
I sent y'all a request though.
Talk to Tom Dash.
Y'all some good players, man.
Dashel, who was
Great game.
Great game.
He was sitting there saying, and we selected him. It shows him specifically because, I mean, he says he made no bones about it. But they selected him because after 2004, they realized how the Republicans play things, and he said we wanted a candidate that the Republicans couldn't swift vote. So Obama would have a long tail. You were going up against Karl Rove. Karl Rove can use your record against you. They chose Obama, a charismatic personality who didn't have a long record to run against. So you essentially had he's a guy who talks like a seasoned politician, but he doesn't have this long track record for you to beat on. So without that, you disarm Karl Rove. And that's exactly what they did. But Tom Daschle said it. You all don't have to believe me. It's on PBS's damn website. I can't. This isn't some conspiracy theory or Alex Jones or something I'm twisting. It's on PBS Frontline's website. He says it, and that's not the only place. Tom Daschle was proud of that. He was proud to say, "Hey, we found a way to outmaneuver Karl Rove. We chose a candidate that they couldn't swift vote." specifically because he didn't have a long track record that you could beat on. And he said all we had to do is if he could catch on, we could make it work. Well, he caught on. So they selected him, but he's not the only one. I'll be damned. They select them everywhere. Eric Adams was selected. Muriel Bowser was selected. Lori Lightfoot selected. London Breed selected. The chick up there in Rochester selected. We can go down the list. You can't be a Democrat in an American city and not be selected. You can't be. It won't work. All of a sudden, you're going to see millions of dollars show up out of nowhere to make sure you don't get any traction. They're going to see millions of dollars show up out of nowhere for whoever is the chosen person. Because they understand you can't give up a bunch of seats like that. You can't give up power and authority like that. You can't do that. So I want you all to understand I can go down the list of people who were selected. Folks, if I don't know what I'm talking about, how in the hell is it that I was correct about these things? When I said Stacey Abrams is not gonna win nothing because that's not her purpose. With dumbasses and jackasses on Twitter talking about, hey, you ain't right about that there. And it broke exactly the way I said. That's her job, is to her job isn't to win. Her job is to galvanize and mobilize the vote. So that in 2 years, they now have a bigger list of people that they can call on and say, okay, now that she's out the way, come vote for the white politician. I proved it. 2018, she ran and lost. 2020, they called her to essentially run as Biden's head cheerleader, and Biden wins. 2022, she runs again and loses by an even bigger margin. Now, how the hell is it that you give her credit for quote-unquote flipping Georgia blue in just 24 months ago, and 24 months later she gets beaten even worse? You've got more black voters. She spent her time doing reverse psychology on black men. You know, if I can get black men to register, black men don't like black women. If I can get the black men to register, okay, you got more black men registered now and she loses even more. Well, that's not the point. The point is, now that you're registered, y'all need to come back in 2 years and vote for the real candidate. Come back in 2 years and vote for Biden. And then come back in 2 years after that and vote for the white person that we send. Or our hand-picked, newly improved Negro bootlick, but come vote for the white person. If it's gonna be governor of Georgia, come vote for the white person that we choose. Because you know, black folks are just unelectable as governor. It's a shame, but we just can't get it done. You can be mayor of Atlanta, but that governorship in Georgia, man, I just can't get it done. Gary Chambers in Louisiana, I'm sitting here watching the same damn playbook. Jamie Hairston in South Carolina. I want to say South Carolina, Lindsey Graham territory. Same thing. These are Negro individuals who have been selected. You can't raise as much money as Jamie Hairston, Stacey Abrams. You can't raise that kind of money if the party isn't behind you. But the point of those millions of dollars was not to win the election. The point of those millions of dollars was to mobilize the vote, not for black candidates, but white ones. This is a carefully balanced machine that is strictly controlled. Her purpose was to organize and galvanize the vote. Now that you've done that, we'll come back in 24 months. They keep the list of voters, they keep the list of emails, they keep the list of addresses, they keep those things. They keep all that data. We'll check back on them in 2 years. That's her purpose. So these candidates are not out at random. They are specifically chosen, specifically picked. They are well-known quantities. And the problem is now they're losing the ability to win because they're being asked tough questions. What are you going to do specifically with black folk? And the ability to wiggle room out of it is vanishing. They're in a tough spot right now because they're being asked, now, what are you going to do specifically with black folk? And they can't argue their way out of it. Let's be very, very clear. Stacey didn't come up with a single convincing or compelling argument against what we were saying. Not a single one. You know it's true because she kept being asked about it. You know it was a weak area for her because when she went on MSNBC, what was his name, Shelby, they kept asking her about that. So you know this was a weak area because MSNBC don't say a damn thing the Democrats don't tell them to say. They were letting you know, we're worried about this. This is a point of contention, we're worried. Even if the point isn't for her to win the governorship, we are worried that this stench is gonna rub off on Biden in 2 years. If she reeks this bad, she can maybe sit here and look black folk in the eye and say, I'm black like y'all. Biden can't do that in 2 years. And by the way, y'all, Biden will be 82 in 2 years. He just turned 80. I think our first octogenarian president. He just turned 80. I don't think, at least that's what the media was saying. I don't think Reagan was that old. But think about that for a few moments. Biden will be 82. 82. You're going to need a lot of help to get across that line. You're going to be a lot. But just recognize if I'm wrong about this, or how they're selected and how they're chosen and how they're funded and picked, if I'm wrong about that, how is it that it keeps turning out, the results keep turning out exactly the way I said it would be? Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller Miracle 269. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is C.R.U, calling from Kalamazoo, Michigan.
C.R.U from Kalamazoo. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind is, I know, obviously, I see that a couple of the concerns obviously have to deal with financial literacy. And, we're talking about a lot of people seeing that they're exhausted with the way that, you're dealing with political theater. One of the things that I think comes about from that is because we don't recognize what industry really runs things. And when we look at what industry runs things, we got to look at, energy in and of itself. A lot of times our people are preoccupied with the industries of music, the industry with music and sports and entertainment. But the reality of it is, when you look at energy, you understand that when we control that, that's when we have true viability. That's when you stop and you rid yourself from top-down economics or top-down politics. Because with the energy industry, you're talking about, obviously petroleum-based products, wind, water, solar, things of that nature. When we begin to educate our children based on that, the science-based industry, that's when you get true economic reform. But our problem is, like you said, we're concentrated, on all the other things that don't allow us to concentrate on what's truly important. So what happens is, which I'm glad when I'm looking at your channel or listening to your channel, we're seeing that a lot of our people are focusing on local and state politics, because I'm pretty sure you're aware of the statistics. Less than 10% of our people get involved in local and state politics, but yet you got over 50% of us that get involved in national politics. And that's inexcusable, because what happens in Michigan is not going to happen in California. Because
that's where the glamour is. You got to understand, the biggest cameras and the biggest spotlights are national, and the Democrat Party has focused a lot of its firepower and its influence on galvanizing the black vote nationally, because we are the national swing vote. Locally, it's not like that. You either got the numbers of a majority or you don't, for the most part. You're a near majority or you don't. Black people are only 13% of the population, but we're a critical swing vote nationally. So that's the real thing about that. That's why so much of that focus is on us nationally. So they're like, hey, we at the local level and stuff, we really don't want black folk involved. We want them white Democrats controlling that. Nationally, black people will have their power, but they'll be able to be a swing vote so they can empower us without threatening our power. So that's why so much attention is focused on galvanizing the black vote at the national level. Your Hollywood stars come out. There's a whole lot more money focused on that than is ever focused at the local level, because it can be funneled and aimed in a specific strategic manner. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller area code 559. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Linda. I'm calling from Hanford, California.
All right, Linda, what's on your mind?
I noticed right off the bat when Chuck Schumer was speaking the other day that Alex Padilla was standing right there in his amen corner. Alex Padilla that took Kamala Harris's place was actually the second choice. Karen Bass was a favorite to take her place at one time. And even us here in California was rather surprised when he chose Alex Padilla. But
I wasn't, but okay.
I see why.
I wasn't surprised. Why were you surprised when he chose Padilla? That was a fait accompli. What did you think was going to happen? All that talk about we're going to get a black woman, I'm like, oh, that was never going to happen. So why? Can you explain to me why exactly did that surprise you that he chose Padilla?
Well, I guess I just fell for the BS. I actually just kind of took my eye off the ball because I really wasn't into it that much.
He had done a lot of talk, and this is the kind of thing we have to watch out for in the 21st century. The way they get black people, and particularly the way they get black women, is they play on black women's emotions. They play on these emotions. Yeah. Don't worry, we're going to give a special benefit to you. The men ain't going to get nothing. We got something carved out just for you over here. And that's a divide and conquer tactic. And the white men are sitting there just laughing their asses off because they know what's actually going to occur. And as black men, we are strategic. We're the warrior class. So we recognize when an enemy army is making a strategic move that's actually a head fake. We understand that. So when you had all these females out there talking about, oh, Gavin Newsom needs to get a black woman. It needs to be a black woman to replace Kamala Harris. Black woman, this, that, and the other. Kamala Harris wasn't even demanding that. So we all understood from the beginning what it was going to be there. So all that noise they were making was for the purposes of making you feel like you were involved. But in reality, it was a fait accompli. So it really wasn't a lot to wonder about there. So they've been recycling that playbook in Georgia and in other places. We've got to become more sophisticated. We've got to become far less easily led and easily deceived. That there was no reason for him to do something like that. That's the first issue. There was no reason for Gavin Newsom to do something like that. There was no reason for that because he's already got the black female vote, such as it is. He's already got that locked down. There in California, you're trying to keep the Latinos from going Republican. So in reality, when you think about it, and this is the way they've been moving the whole time, it's not like this is new. The Latinos been moving like this the whole time. There's no reason to throw more crumbs at the black vote. You've already gotten as much out of that as you're going to get, and they're not going to get up and go somewhere else, not as a group. So you have no incentive to give them anything else. You need to go shore. If you got a seat to give, you need to go shore up that Latino vote.
Well, in the last couple of years, I will admit that I have learned an awful lot, from the black media. I, too, was stuck on MSNBC or CNN and just kind of listening to what they had to say, and I would just take it for granted that that's the way it was. But when I began to listen to black media, it just really opened my eyes, and I see a lot of places that we have gone wrong. I see how much work we have to do, and I'm also pretty proud of how we're waking up. I see people that are talking about things in a completely different way than they were the last few years. Even talking in a different way that I have, and not just on social media, but in person. They're just waking up, and they see that things just aren't going as they should be going. But there's that hope there that something will change. But now we see that nothing is going to change unless we make it change. And I'm pretty proud that a lot of us are waking up to that fact and trying to change things and go in a different direction. Realizing that we have
in your area.
Here's my issue.
We need them destroyed. Marking locations on your TAC map.
I'm 70 years old.
Right. And here's the problem that I have. 17 years
and oh shit.
Here's the problem. You can't do anything in California. I said this a decade ago. The black vote, I mean, we got some small pockets of black people in California and certainly Georgia can. But as far as the voting bloc, all of that consistent Democrat Party water carry has been devastating. Fights already. There's nothing to vote for. The previous Angeles, 50 years of consistently supporting their agenda, blind allegiance, divide and conquer tactics. They call it divide and conquer for a reason. Division is the tactic, conquering is the strategy and end goal. And what I'm saying is they've all been achieved. At this point right now, the numbers are insurmountable. In California is basically an explosion of black immigrants and black folk having children, willy-nilly or otherwise, and plus a mass exodus of Latinos out of California. That's what you would need to have happen. And that works great in science fiction. So what I'm saying is, folks don't like it when I say this, and no offense. But folks don't like it when I say you got to watch these
I'm not offended at all.
Until recently, you were one of them. I'm saying there's because of short-sightedness and ego and being easily misled and treating politics like it's a team sport, which is what the Democrats become very good at, because they know there's a lot of black folk who love to do that kind of garbage. Treating politics like it's some kind of entertainment or sport. And this is a team, and I'm wearing my Democrat jersey, and like it's the Cleveland Browns. And it's not. This is life and death. This is survival. This isn't a football game. And that's the issue that we run into. So right now, I can talk to black folk as individuals in California, but as a group, I've traveled California straight down Interstate 5 from one end to the other. And I can tell you, in the areas in Northern California, that reminds me of Louisiana. It's like the sticks in Louisiana from. I'm like, there's no black people anywhere. White folk, roadside cafes and stuff. And then there was Latinos. Didn't see any black folks till I got there. Didn't see any black folks till I got there. And then it was only a few
located enemy supplies and
then you
nearby
get keep on driving to way on down to Los Angeles. Now, of course, we bypassed the Bay, and I understand that. But I mean, the Bay can't hold on its own. It can't. And we can't keep living off of the work of the Panthers, because that's gone. So as a group,
that's gone.
The situation was squandered. So that's the problem that I have, is that at this point right now, thank you for waking up, but it's too little too late at this point. It's too little too late. I don't have any good news to give you. It's the time to be making this move was 20 years ago.
20 years ago, I was in Texas.
Well,
so,
there's a story to be told there, too.
I've only been out here for about 20 years.
If you were in Houston, there's a story to be told there, too. So, like I say, it's just one of those things, and I bring this up because there's only so much land you can cede and so much ground you can give up.
Ultra One, we're seeing increased activity in the area. Stay sharp.
California, I think it's a good place for individuals. If your money is straight, I think it's a good place to be in certain areas. But then again, any place is a good place to be when your money is straight. But as far as building a black community and black enclaves, hell, we just recovered Bruce's Beach. Let me say one more thing. I am not in any way, shape, form, fashion, or manner saying that black folk in California should necessarily, quote unquote, abandon culture. Not what I'm saying.
This is actual. That intel gave the location of high-value cargo being transported in the area. I need you to secure the vehicle and get it to the HLZ. Target location is marked on your attack map.
That opportunity was squandered since Brad.
Yes.
That opportunity has been squandered. It's taken too long. Now you got to change the conversation. That opportunity has been squandered. You're going to have to focus strictly on the economics. You're going to have to follow the example of the Jews and the Asians. You're going to have to focus strictly on the economics. You do not have the population numbers.
I got you.
You're going to have to have the socioeconomic numbers, not the population numbers.
I got you.
There isn't enough, quote-unquote, political organizing you can do. Now, eventually, under those circumstances, you might be able to establish yourself as a swing vote in certain areas there. In Los Angeles, depending on who's running and whatnot, black folks still constitute that. But just having the ability to vote and you're not voting on any socioeconomic real estate for yourself, that's useless. And that's what's been going on, is voting when you don't own anything. and then you're voting for folks and then hoping that voting for them will somehow symbolically add to you. And there's where the problem comes in. So thank you very much for, you know, certainly reconsidering things about this, but at this point right now, it's really a back against the wall situation. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I mean, that's just one more thing to consider.
Ultra One,
one more thing
you're
to consider.
approaching the target area.
It's not a
Objective
little
is located in the warehouse building.
It's not a little
All
thing.
personnel on site are to be considered hostile.
It's not a little thing when you have that going on. By the way, yeah, Joe Biden is the oldest president now. Reagan got elected when he was 69. Biden just turned 80. Reagan got elected when he was 69. Biden just turned 80.
Ultra One, actual. Target vehicle secured. Proceed to the extract point. Marking HLZ on your TAC map.
So just understand what we're really doing. And just understand what we're really up against. Shout out to Big Dog in O-Town and everybody else who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chat. Thank you very much for your support here. We do this tonight because I want you to understand there's a lot that could have gotten done. And sometimes if you mess around long enough, it really is too. This myth of power.
Man, who is that? Is that a real person?
You don't need a black-led city. What you need to have is a black agenda. And it's the agenda. And that's the direction it is to go. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here now. I want to thank all of you here for joining us. Everyone who's contributed to the program. Thank you all for sharing it and everything else. We appreciate that as well. Thank you here to Snaps. Thank you very much for some change on that one. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll buy some other wonderful things. I want to thank all of you for tuning in here. And if you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the page of the Black Dog. You can click that and subscribe and notification. To our website, blackchannelfilms.com. You want to go there and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, all of it on DVD and on streaming. Go to blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. I want to thank all of you for joining us here tonight. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is the leader.